When winter arrived in the year 1400, the city of Prague began to slow. The crowded streets that once echoed with trade and conversation grew quieter beneath the falling snow. Smoke rose steadily from chimneys, drifting into the pale gray sky, a silent signal that every household depended on fire to endure what was coming. Cold air settled into the stone walls and narrow alleys. The river, which had carried boats and supplies during warmer months, moved more slowly with each passing day. Frost formed along its edges, and people watched carefully, knowing that once it froze completely, the city would lose one of its most important sources of food and movement. Preparation had begun months earlier. During late summer and autumn, families cut and stacked as much firewood as they could carry. Every piece of wood represented warmth, and warmth meant survival. Grain was dried and sealed in sacks, stored in corners of homes and beneath wooden floors. Meat was salted and preserved, protected from decay so it could last through the long, uncertain months ahead. But preparation was never equal. Wealthier families stored larger supplies, filling entire rooms with food and fuel. Poorer families often had only what they could gather themselves, and sometimes not enough. They depended on careful rationing and hope that winter would not last too long. Inside the city gates, daily life became focused on endurance. Fires burned constantly when possible, their small flames casting flickering light across wooden walls. Families gathered close, sitting near the warmth for hours. Even then, the cold remained present, creeping beneath doors and through cracks in the structure. Breath sometimes appeared in the air, even indoors. Clothing provided limited protection. Thick wool cloaks helped retain heat, but they were heavy and often damp from snow. Hands became stiff, movements slower. Every task required more effort. Outside, the market still operated, but their activity was reduced. Merchants stood beside their goods, wrapped tightly against the cold. Fewer travelers arrived at the gates. Fewer carts entered the city. Each passing day brought greater isolation. The city did not stop, but it endured. Every citizen understood that winter would test their strength, their preparation, and their ability to survive in a world without heat, without electricity, and without certainty. As the cold settled deeper into the city, daily routines changed completely. The river, once filled with moving boats and trade, began to slow beneath a growing layer of ice. Along its edges, thin frost spread across the surface. People approached carefully, breaking small openings when water was needed. Each task required more effort than before. Markets remained open, but their appearance was different. Where there had once been abundance, now there was restraint. Bread was smaller, and its price was higher. Meat was rare, and often preserved long before winter began. Merchants watched carefully, measuring every transaction, knowing their supplies would not be easily replaced. The sound of the city itself became quieter. Fewer travelers arrived through the gates. Fewer carts rolled along the frozen streets. The noise of commerce faded, replaced by the constant presence of wind moving through narrow alleys. Inside homes, maintaining warmth became the most important task of the day. Fires burned whenever wood was available, their light flickering against dark wooden beams. Families remained close to the flame, limiting movement to conserve energy. Even then, the cold found its way inside. Walls made of stone and timber could not fully block the winter air. Clothing provided protection, but only to a degree. Heavy wool cloaks and layered garments slowed the loss of heat, yet hands and faces remained exposed. Work outdoors was done quickly, and only when necessary. Fuel supplies were watched carefully. Each piece of wood placed into the fire represented one less piece available for the future. Some families reduced their fires during the day, allowing only small embers to remain, saving larger flames for the coldest hours of night. Animals became more important during this time. Horses, goats, and other livestock were brought closer to homes, sometimes sheltered inside to share warmth. Their presence added heat, but also filled the air with breath and sound, reminders that survival depended on every available resource. The nights were the most difficult. Darkness arrived early, covering the city long before morning returned. Without electricity, only torches and open flames provided light. Guards walked slowly along the streets and walls, their footsteps steady and deliberate. Their torches flickered against stone, small points of light in a vast darkness. The city endured, but every passing day brought greater strain. As winter continued, its presence could be seen in every part of the city. Snow remained on rooftops for weeks without melting. The narrow streets, once muddy and crowded, became hard and silent beneath layers of ice. Each step produced a dull, frozen sound. Movement was slower, and every journey required more effort than before. The river, once the city's most important connection to the outside world, was now almost completely frozen. Boats no longer
This scale is rigged, your
moved
wood's
across
light.
its surface.
It's fair weight, you just want a
Trade
deal.
had nearly
I know a
stopped.
short measure when I
Without
see one.
regular
Fine,
deliveries,
take it
the
or leave it.
city
I'm paying for air.
depended
I'm paying for
entirely
air.
on what had been stored during the warmer seasons. Every household understood the importance of rationing. Food supplies became more limited with each passing day. Bread was cut into smaller portions. Meals became simpler. Soups were made thinner, designed to last longer. Hunger was not always immediate, but it was always present, waiting quietly in the background. Inside homes, fire remained the center of survival. Flames burned low, carefully maintained to conserve wood. Families gathered close together, sharing the warmth. The firelight flickered against stone and timber, casting long shadows across the room. Outside, the wind continued to move through the streets, searching for every opening. The cold affected every part of daily life. Water stored indoors could freeze overnight. Clothing stiffened after exposure to snow. Even simple tasks such as walking across the city required planning and caution. For many people, sleep was difficult. Nights were long and dark. Without artificial light, the city disappeared into shadow after sunset. Only small points of fire marked the presence of life. Guards moved slowly along the walls and through the streets, their torches rising and falling as they walked. Their footsteps echoed faintly, reminders that the city still endured. Animals also felt the effects of winter. Horses remained in their shelters, their breath visible in the cold air. Livestock stayed close together for warmth. Their survival was just as important, as they would be needed when spring returned. Despite the hardship, life continued. People adapted, adjusting their routines to match the demands of winter. Every decision was shaped by the cold.
Where
by
are the
need
goods?
to
We know you
conserve
took them.
energy, fuel,
Return them
and
now,
food.
or face the consequences.
city
I have
remained
nothing, please. I
standing.
am innocent.
Lies! We
But
saw
alive.
you!
No, I swear.
Waiting
Enough!
for the season to change. Slowly, the signs of change would begin to appear. The endless snow would soften beneath weak sunlight. Ice along the river would crack, breaking apart after months of silence. Water would begin to move again, carrying with it the promise of connection and renewal. The people of Prague would step outside more often, no longer forced to remain close to their fires. Markets would slowly regain their activity. Carts would return through the city gates, bringing food, supplies, and movement back to the frozen streets. But winter was never forgotten. Every household remembered how quickly warmth could disappear, how fragile comfort truly was. The cold had tested their preparation, their patience, and their ability to endure without certainty. In the year 1400, survival depended not on technology, but on resilience, fire,